The annoying, screech-like voice of Ms. Mia filled the air, each taunt a sharpened knife aimed squarely at Vritra's countless flaws. Sunlight streamed through the classroom window, illuminating dust particles dancing in the air, a stark contrast to the oppressive atmosphere that had settled over the classroom. Vritra slumped in his chair, his long, deep black hair falling like a curtain over his forehead, obscuring his left eye appearing a bit messy. He wore slightly baggy clothes that made him look skinny and weak, though that couldn't have been any more wrong. The other students, a loud and restless bunch, blended into the background, a mix of chatter and judgment. He didn't look their way. He already knew what they were whispering. Mia, his teacher, stood at the front of the class, her old face appearing full of fury. Her black hair was perfectly and neatly styled, despite that her choice of cloth ruined her already bad appearance. Her glasses were resting on her nose, occasionally slipping as she gestured emphatically. She was in her late 50s, and the wrinkles didn't do much to make her look any younger. Yet, despite being quite fit for someone her age, she was famous for her irritating behavior and thin voice. Mia's grating voice reverberated across the class as she shouted. She began, her eyes fixed on the youth who sat on his seat as if nothing around him actually mattered.
His performance in this class has been very disappointing, as if he himself doesn't want to score better. He never submits any assignments. His participation is minimal to none, and his grades, well, let's just say he passes all his subjects by merely a single mark.
A round of snickers rippled through the classroom. Vritra could feel all the eyes in the class focusing on him. He ignored them all, only looking back at the woman standing beside his old teacher.
You're not living up to your potential. All his answers are correct, but he never writes more than he needs to pass.
Ms. Mia continued, her gaze unwavering.
Your mother is here today because I felt it necessary to address this issue directly. His lack of focus is disruptive, not to mention his aggressive behavior. The brat even hits the girls. Can you believe that? More than half of the boys have their teeth missing because of him. Everyone in the class fears and hates him, and they complain about him on a daily basis.
Beside Mia stood Vritra's mother. Tall and straight, her presence, full of confidence, radiating a quiet aura that seemed to command respect. Vanessa, even in her 40s, possessed a timeless beauty that was both captivating and intimidating. Her green hair, like a cascade of emerald, fell to her waist, framing a face that could stop traffic. Her figure was voluptuous, a perfect balance of curves and undeniable sensuality. Loose clothes did little to hide the generous swell of her breasts and the roundness of her hips, the kind of body that no man could resist with just the right amount of fat over her body. Yet, her modest clothes stopped all lustful gaze. Her red lips were full and juicy, and her eyes, the same shade of green as her hair, sad, looked captivating and beautiful. Her mere presence seemed to radiate an aura of coldness and confidence. She stood tall, her gaze calm. The teacher's words didn't really seem to have any effect on her. The students around them were a mix of amusement and fleeting satisfaction. Most of the boys kept stealing glances at the rich and cold-looking seductress who looked like a model. All of them were almost drooling. Vritra, meanwhile, remained impassive, his expression hidden behind his curtain of hair. He was different from what all others knew or believed. He couldn't find any joy in such activities. When is this going to end? I have to go to the club. I have a match today. Vritra wondered, checking the time on his mobile. I am already aware of all this, Vritra's mother, Vanessa Arkless, said, her voice a soothing melody that contrasted with the teacher's harsh tone. However, I believe that the money I have fed to this school is more than enough to look over such small troubles. Or should I ask to change the teacher? Maybe a more competent one. Change? Ms. Mia's eyebrow arched. Mrs. Arkless, there is no need for such major action. Vritra usually behaves quite well and wouldn't disturb others until others provoke him. Haha. Vanessa looked at her son with a soft smile, a tender expression appearing on her face contrasting the cold one. Inside, Vritra remained silent, looking through his hair with a bored expression. He found the teacher's complaints to be a childish drama, an unnecessary disturbance to his perfect daily routine. Suddenly, a blinding light erupted, engulfing the entire classroom. A collective gasp went around the class. The world dissolved into a searing white. The space seemed to spiral around, sucking them all as all of them closed their eyes and felt a strange churning in their bellies. When all of them opened their eyes, they were no longer in the familiar classroom. The smell of chalk and pollution was completely gone, replaced by the scent of fresh air and something else. A fragrant scent of flowers. Vritra observed his surroundings and found himself standing in a vast, pristine chamber. The walls were a flawless white, as if carved from solid marble, and the ceilings soared impossibly high, disappearing into the shadows. In front of them stood an ancient and beautifully carved statue, gleaming in the sunlight. It seemed to be some kind of temple. The room was filled with the 40 students, Ms. Mia and Vanessa, all blinking in confusion. The chamber was filled with a sense of grandeur, a feeling of ancient power that both awed and intimidated. Vritra felt a strange mix of anticipation and curiosity about the unknown. He was quite intrigued, but he wouldn't let his curiosity overrule his logic. "Where? What? Miss?" Mia stammered, her glasses askew, her professional composure shattered. The students started chattering among themselves, their initial fear giving way to a mixture of confusion and curiosity. Vritra's mother stood close to him, her expression mirroring his own, cautious observation, as she stood protectively. Then, she appeared. Before them stood a woman of breathtaking beauty, a goddess of unparalleled perfection. Her hair was the purest white, cascading down her back like a waterfall of moonlight. Her skin was flawless, a milky white that seemed untouched by the sun, radiating an ethereal glow. Her eyes were a vibrant, otherworldly blue, and her features looked just so perfect. She had a hint of haughtiness about her, a sense of being above all else, looking down at them as if they were nothing more than mere ants. "Welcome, mortals from another universe." The goddess's melodic voice echoed through the chamber, resonating with a power that commanded instant attention. The words seemed to shimmer in the air, carrying a magical quality that calmed the initial panic. "I am Diana. The goddess of Dunture and I have summoned you here for a purpose." Her words had a calming effect, quieting the chaos as the students, teachers, and Vanessa looked at her in amazement and wonder. A wave of discussion and murmurs went through the crowd. They were discussing how ethereally beautiful she was, the vastness of the place, the elegance and expensive nature of the temple, and the aura around them. "In the name of fucking gods, look at her!" A boy, Reno from the back row, usually known for his perverted comments and fat body, blurted out, She's incredibly gorgeous. Is this some kind of setup? And where had my phone disappeared off to?" "Fuck, I just brought the expensive one last week." Vritra's mother stood beside him, her expression a mixture of awe and apprehension. Mia, still flustered, attempted to regain her composure. "Where are we? What is the meaning of all this? How did we suddenly arrive here?" Deanna's gaze swept over the group, her eyes moving without much emotion. She had an air of superiority around her, as if her presence alone made the others feel small and worthless. "You have all been chosen," Diana said, ignoring Ms. Mia, her voice steady.
The universe is on the brink of destruction. Demons are spreading like a plague, consuming everything in their path. If you want to save all of existence, your own universe and people you love back in your homes, you must start by saving my world and wiping them out.
The students, in turn, were shocked by the words. "What do you mean?" a girl asked, her voice trembling. "This world is beset by the forces of evil," Diana explained. "The demon gods."
The demon gods and their legions of demon lords, demon generals, and countless others threaten to destroy everything. You have been chosen to fight against them.
Vritra's mind was racing. Demon gods? Demon lords? This is interesting. He found all this hard to believe. It still felt as if this was some kind of dream or just a setup.
What are you talking about? We can't do something like that. Just standing alone is making my joints scrape. Can you please just send us back?
"You will be granted abilities," Diana continued again, ignoring Miss Mia like some insect, her voice regaining a serious tone.
You will grow stronger by killing demons and by acquiring the treasures that lie scattered across this land. Your journey will no doubt be filled with dangers, but your success is essential and I will help you in whatever way to make sure you succeed. You do not have to fear. You still have quite some time to build up your strength.
Hearing her words, another wave of discussion went through the crowd. There was still fear, but they had understood their situation and knew going back might not be possible just yet, and they could only follow along for now. Then, she commanded them, "Open your status windows. Just think about it and it will appear." A moment of confusion. Then the air shimmered around each of them as a translucent screen materialized before their eyes. Vritra's own status window flickered into existence, displaying a series of lines filled with information.